Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I really hope you're all doing okay and have a great day and an amazing week. My name is Effy and today it's time to update you on my project pan. In case you haven't seen my project pan before, I have had a full face of makeup, skincare, body care and hair care every quarter of the year, and then for the final quarter of the year I brought all 3 other quarters back. So there's a lot of products that I'm trying to get through, but I think I'm finally making some progress on a lot of things, so this will be a good update. And I only have 1 month left to try and get these products used up, which it is mad that we are nearly, well, I mean, by the time you watch this it will be December, which is just crazy. But anyway, if that sounds interesting to you, if you like project panning, then please do just keep on watching. If you enjoy this video, please give it a big thumbs up. If you like my content, please consider subscribing. I put up 2 videos a week and it's all makeup content, so if that sounds like the type of thing, then this is the place for you. I do also have another project pan running, which is just eyeshadow related, but I only update on that at the end of every quarter, so you'll have an update at the end of the year. But other than that, let's just get on with it. As always, we're going to start with makeup and we're going to start with primers. So from the first round, we have this I Heart Revolution Strawberry Whip Pore Blurring Vitamin C and E Primer. I've used this 12 times in the past month. I'm pretty sure I said that I reckon I could finish up one of my primers. I've kind of inadvertently chose this one. There's not a lot left in it and it's getting more and more difficult to sort of like squeeze out a decent amount. I do have it on today. I actually really quite like this. I use it with my e.l.f. putty primer. I put the putty primer sort of over my pory areas and then I put this around the rest of my face, and I have really been enjoying it, and 12 uses is really good. I should say at the start of this video, the number of uses, estimated, because I completely forgot to write things down for like a period of 2, maybe 2.5, 3 weeks. So I've very roughly estimated, and I've tried to be as accurate as possible, but that's fine. Primer from round 2 is the MUA Pro Base Mattifying Flawless Primer. I've used this 3 times in the last month, not loads, but it's getting colder, it's getting into winter. I don't want my skin to be mattified down too much because then dry patches and all that. I want hydration at the moment, so I haven't reached for this loads, but 3 times is still decent. And then our final primer from round 3 is the XX Revolution Pink Elixir Primer. This has been discontinued from XX Revolution, so you can't get it anymore, and I haven't used it in the past month. I don't know why, because this is a hydrating primer and I probably will use it a little bit more over the next month because I have Christmas parties coming up and this gives your skin like a really nice Christmassy, sparkly sort of look. But yeah, 0 uses in the past month. I do really like it. I really wish they hadn't discontinued it, but they have. So yeah. Foundation, and from round 2 we have the Collection Lasting Perfection Glow Foundation in the shade Porcelain 2. I do have this on today. This is getting much harder to pump out. I've used it 7 times in the last month, and actually when I used it today I pumped a little bit out, tried to pump out some more, couldn't get any more out, had to unscrew it and take some off like the tube on the inside. So I think this might be getting close to being finished. I don't know if I can like see into the bottle. I feel like there's still a fair amount in there, I just don't know how well I can really get to it. I will do my best and I will keep using it because I do really like this foundation, and it's a glowy foundation which is great for winter. Then we have the foundations that I've been really trying on. I have used these 21 times in the last month, but just as a reminder, 1 use is 1 shade, so if I use both shades that's 2 uses. And these are the Revolution Conceal and Define foundations. I have the shade F2 and F1. Like I said, 21 uses. Not sure how I've got an odd number there because normally I use them both together, but that's fine. There's still a fair amount in these. I can't seem to get these to go down. Like every time I use them there's still a fair amount coming out on the doe foot, which is kind of annoying. I want to get them used up, but I'll do my best over the next month, I promise. Concealers, now the one from round 1 was the Revolution Conceal and Define, and I have completely finished that. I finished that at the end of last month. From round 2 we have the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop Concealer in the shade 01 Pale. I've used this 8 times in the last month. I do really like it. I don't know if you can see, but there's starting to be like gap lines. Can you sort of see where the product isn't quite filling it anymore? I feel like I'm starting to use this up. Like maybe in the next month I can get it finished. I have been going into the office more. I'm now in the office roughly 3 days a week, so I'm wearing makeup a bit more often. But I have gone through a period of about 3 weeks where I haven't filmed at all on weekends. So it kind of balances out, right? From round 3, we have the collection Lasting Perfection Concealer in the shade 1 Rose Porcelain. I've used this 11 times in the last month. I do have it on today. I do quite like this concealer. It's definitely starting to empty out. Like, I have to scrape the sides to really get anything out on it. So I feel like this one could be finished. If I can finish both by the end of the year, I'll be very, very happy. But we'll see how that goes. Now time for powder. And from round 1, we have the Revolution Translucent Loose Baking Powder. If I put it sideways, you can sort of see where we're at. There's still loads left. It's up to about here. I've said before, I'm probably never going to finish this because it's so much powder. And I'm just never going to get through it all. But I have been using it. I've used it 4 times in the last month, which doesn't sound like a lot. But if you wait one moment, we'll move on to the other powder and then you'll see why. I do still really like this. I am still trying to use it up, but it's just taken a while. But the success story. The Primark Bake It Setting Powder. Now I've used this 16 times in the past month and it is finished. There is powder in here, but I can show you it. There is powder in here, but as you can see, that powder is very, very white. And the net of this is very, very not white. So clearly that's not the same powder. This powder in here is a little bit of the Barry M Ready Set Smooth that I have on my face right now, but I also wore it last night and I put it in here to make it easier to use. But yeah, I completely used up the Primark powder maybe last week, I think. I was so proud of myself. I'm so happy, and I am actually going to keep the tub and just keep putting more powder in here. I think once I've finished the little bit of Barry M powder that's in here, what I might do is put the Revolution powder in here and use it out of here because it'll be a little bit more convenient. But yeah, I finished it. I'm so proud of myself. In total, in this quarter, I've used it 25 times, and I probably used it a fair amount during the quarter it was in, but it is finished. I'm very proud of myself. Thank you. Blush. So, from round 1, we have the MUA Blushed Matte Blush Powder in the shade Rose Tea. I've used this 7 times this quarter. I have it on today. It's not going down. You can still very clearly see the rose embossing, and I'm still not convinced that this doesn't have some sort of like weird pan, like hard pan, because it does look a little bit hard pan, but the product is still coming off, so it's fine. I'm going to keep using it, but I don't think I'm going to use this up. From round 2, we have the Collection Soft Glow Blusher in the shade Too Bashful. I've used this once. I do not reach for this blush, and I don't even know why. Like, it's not a bad blush, I just don't reach for it. So yeah, no real change in there. Definitely not going to finish it up, obviously. Then from round 3, we have the Rude Cosmetics Blush Crush 9 Colour Blush Palette in the shade Level Up. I have used this 9 times in the past month. You can so tell which one is my favourite. This like halo of powder, you can tell that it's my favourite one. One use is one colour, but typically I've just been reaching for this one by itself. I love this shade. I literally wore it yesterday. It's my favourite. I do love it. I would love to see pan in it before the end of the year, but I don't think that's going to happen. Blush is just really hard to pan, essentially. Bronzer, and from round 1, we have the Revolution Ultra Sculpt and Contour Kit in the shade CO1 Ultra Fair. Now, this pan was already here, and because of that, I haven't really reached for this. I've used it once in the last month, just because I already have pan. I'd rather try and hit pan on my other products first instead of trying to completely use this up, but I will completely use this up at some point. I'm just not focusing on it right now. Then from round 2, we have the Primark Sheer Glow and Finishing Powder in the shade 312 Medium. I've used this 14 times in the last month and you can't really tell. There is a little bit of a dent, like it's starting to wear down in the middle. Because I put bronzer down the sides of my nose, I use a really small brush for it. And I feel like you can see where I'm constantly putting it in the same place. I just stabbed it, but that's fine. I think you can see where I constantly put it in the same place. I really, really like this bronzer. 14 times is really good use. I've got it on today. I've got a giant spot on my face, so look at this side instead. But yeah, I've got it on today. It works really, really well. But I do also use the round 3 bronzer in the same way. Like, I wear both at the same time. I've used this one 12 times. It is the Wet n Wild Colour Icon bronzer in the shade Ticket to Brazil. This was brand new when I put it in my project pan, so I'm not expecting to see any pan in it at all. But I've used this 12 times in the past month. This is a very, very, very pale shade on me. So what I tend to do is almost put this all over my face as a finishing powder, and then go in with a proper bronzer that actually shows up on me in like the areas I want more definition, so along the cheekbones, along the sides of my hairline, and then just a little bit on my forehead. Now we move on to highlight, and from round one we have the Soph X Revolution highlighter palette. Now these two pans were already here. I've used this 14 times in the last month. I've mainly been targeting the gold, which I'm not hitting pan on that this year, and the pink. Now the pink, you're not going to be able to see it, I don't think, but you have to believe me, there is the teeny tiniest little bit of pan, but you can't really see it, but I can. I'll see if I can get a zoomed in shot of it, but I promise you it is there. I don't think you can see it, but it's like right there, just above my fingernail. Can you kind of see it? I don't think you can. I don't think you can see the pan, which is very unfortunate, but I promise you, you will be able to see it next time, because I'm really going to work at it. I haven't been reaching for my pinks loads recently. I've been really going for my browns and my goldy sort of shades, which is very weird for me, I know. But I do have it on today. I promise I will wear a bit more pink over the next month and try and get that pan expanded so you can actually see it. But yeah, 14 uses, pretty good. Then from round two we have the MUA Shimmer Highlight Powder in the shade Iridescent Gold. I did explain this before. I had a different one of these in my project pan during the year, and then I decluttered it and bought a new one without thinking that I have to bring it back. So this is a brand new one that started when I started this quarter. But I've used this 15 times in the past month, which realistically that is showing you how much I've been reaching for my browns over my pinks, because I've used this a fair amount. Obviously no pan, obviously, but I am really enjoying it. It is such a nice highlight, and these are so inexpensive. They are really, really good highlights. But yeah, I'll keep going on that one too. And then finally from round three we have the Ofra Pillow Talk Highlight. I've used this 5 times in the past month. Again, I've just not really been reaching for my pinks, and when I do, I go for the Soph one. But what I have been doing and what I've done today is I put this one on, I don't know how well you're going to be able to see, and then I put the Soph one on top to make it more pink, because this one kind of comes out almost like icy, whereas the Soph one definitely comes out pink, so I mixed the two together to get a better shade for me. But 5 uses is still good. Now for eye primer we have the Too Faced Shadow Insurance. I've used this 9 times in the past month, and I am trying so hard to use it up, but you need the tiniest amount, so it is going down very, very slowly. But I reckon I can give this a really good try over the next month and hopefully finish it up. And then from round 2 we did have the Revolution Prime and Lock eyeshadow primer. Now I used this 2 more times and then decided to call it a day, because honestly you can see how empty it is. There's just nothing left in there. The only thing that is left in there is right at the bottom, and I can't get to it. So this is done. Congratulations me. Yay. Completed it. And then for round 3 we have the Beauty Bay Eye Base in shade 2. I've used this 13 times in the past month, and there's still so much left in here. Like, there's still loads on the dough foot when I pull it out. I am considering doing a Beauty Bay order because they have their Black Friday sale on at the moment, and ordering another one of these, but do I really need it if this one's still going? Probably not, but it's good to have a backup sort of thing. But yeah, 13 uses, pretty happy. Probably not going to finish it up though, because there's so much product in here, which is amazing. Now we move on to eyeshadow palettes, and you guys, it's finally happened. From the first palette, can you see it? You can see it. I've hit pan in the gold. If you've been watching my project pan, you'll know I've been trying to hit pan in this gold shade all year. This was the first palette to go into my project pan. It's still here now. I've been trying to pan this gold for the longest time, and I'm so proud of myself. I literally did it the other day. I think the problem was I got a little bit of hard pan, so what I started doing was using a smaller, more like rigid brush to sort of break it apart a little bit, and then taking it on a bigger brush and actually applying it to my lid. But I managed to dig down and get to the pan. I'm so proud of myself. That was literally my one goal. Now from round 2 we also have a little bit of a success story. Round 2 was the Modern Renaissance palette by ABH. There is some pan, right there. I can't really tell because I feel like the pan is like a very similar shade to the product, I'm not really sure. But there is pan in the shade Primavera. Again, super proud of myself. Really happy. I would love to see some more pan in this, but we'll see. Again, I feel like I've reached for a bit more, but I'm reaching for the same shades over and over and over again, which is good because I'm hoping to hit pan on some of those shades, but it means that some of the others are being neglected a little bit. Now, if you remember my last update, you will know that the third palette, the Effys Revolution palette, is an utter success story. I mean, look at it. Look at all the pan. There are 5 pans in there. I'm really proud of that. So basically, in my last update, I decided I was going to leave this alone a little bit, and I have. I'm pretty sure the only shade I've used in this palette is I've used this shade once, and that's it. But yeah, I really did stick to my word and not use this palette because I didn't need to, and I think you can tell by the use I've got out of my other palettes that it was a good idea. But yeah, this palette has sort of been ignored a little bit, but with 5 pans, 4 of which were hit this year, this one was hit before I started my project pan. I'm really, really happy with the progress on this palette. I probably won't reach for it much over the next month either, just to give the other palettes more of a chance, and also the other palettes that are in my other project pan, give them a bit of a chance too. But yeah, I'm still so happy about that palette. Now we move on to brow products, and from round 1 we have the I Heart Revolution Tasty Avocado Brow Gel. I've used this 15 times, there's still so much in here. It's such a good brow gel, but there's so much in here and I'm just never going to get through it, so I'm just happy to keep using it as I am. But like I said, 15 uses is pretty good. Then also from round 1, the Collection Incredibrow Brow Definer in Blonde does not go up anymore. I used this 4 times before I completely finished it. You physically cannot get any more out of this. It is done. I'm so proud of myself. That is finally finished. Then for round 2 we have the Wet n Wild Brow Obsessive Brow Shaping Gel in the shade Blonde. I use this with the other brow gel. I honestly just used both. I've got them both on today. I've used this 13 times in the last month. I really like it. It does a good job. Probably not going to finish it up. Also from round 2, the Benefit Goof Proof Brow Pencil. I've used this 17 times and there is, like, that's all that's left to it. I'll put it on my forehead so you can see that is all that is left. It won't roll up any further. I think I'm going to finish that in the next month. Wish me luck. But yeah, I'll be happy to see that go because I've had it for quite a while. And then for round 3, the Benefit Ka-Brow. I basically said in my last video that I'm going to count this as finished because it is so dry. I physically can't use it anymore. So I'm just going to count it as done, and I'm going to declutter it in my declutters next year. But I'm not going to get rid of it until then. So it's just going to sit here and not be used. And I know that sounds silly, but it's so that the declutters actually, I declutter things. Mascaras, and I use them both together realistically, but from round 1 we have the PS Pro Prime. But from round 1 we have the Primark False Lash Queen Mascara, and I've used this 7 times. I think this is drying up. I think it stopped giving me what I want. But I used this one first and put this one on top. So this one is the KVD Go Big or Go Home Mascara. And I've used this 21 times in the last month. So as you can tell, I use the KVD one pretty much every day. But I sometimes put this one on top, and then I sometimes also top them with a waterproof mascara to make sure they last a little bit longer. But yeah, I'm kind of happy with both. They've both still got product in. This one might be dying a little bit quicker, but we'll see how it goes. I mean, they're both still in the project pan at the moment. Now it's time for lips. The problem is my lipsticks are all over the place. I honestly don't know where they all are. So I'm just going to tell you the numbers. I'm sorry that that's not what you want to hear, but I cannot find them all. They're all in like different bags and different boxes and places and things like that. So for my brown lipsticks, we had the ABH matte lipstick in the shade Spice. I've only used it twice in the last month, and that was on the same day. So yeah, that's probably not gone down much at all. The Diego de la Palma from round 2 in Nudeology 201. I used it once. It was so matte, I regretted it immediately, but I did use it once. It probably hasn't gone down much. From round 3 we have the Effys Revolution lipstick in the shade Syrup. I've used that 11 times, so that one is going down, but that is currently in my work bag because I literally wear it to work most days. I love it. I'm still getting through it. I still don't think I'm going to finish it this year. I feel like that's too much to ask, but I will finish it at some point and I'll be very excited about it. Then for my pink lipsticks, we started with the number 7 Stay Perfect in the shade Classic Rose. I've used that 5 times in the last month. If I'm wearing a pink, that's probably what I'm going to go for because it is the least matte and it stays on quite nicely and I really like it. From round 2, we have the Primark matte lipstick in Tickle. I've not used it. I just haven't used it at all. Then from round 3, we have the Revolution Pro New Neutral Lipstick in the shade Velvet. I haven't used that either. Like I said, if I want a pink, I go for the number 7 one because it's the nicest to wear, especially in these cold months. But yeah, it means I haven't really used the others. And then for my red lipsticks, we first up have the Beauty Bay Matte Lipstick in Juice. Haven't used it. I haven't worn a red lipstick in so long because it's just messy and I have to wear it to work and it's too much. But from round 2, we have the Bare Minerals Bare Pro Lipstick in Saffron, which I love. I think it's so beautiful and I always think I should wear it, but I haven't worn it this month at all because, again, the upkeep is too much. And then from round 3, we have the NARS VIP Audacious Lipstick in the shade Audrey. I have worn this twice in the past month. Again, that was probably in the same day and I just topped it up, but there we go. And then finally, the other lip product is the e.l.f. Hydrating Core Lip Shine in the shade Joyful. I have used that 3 times in the last month. I should really be using it more just because I need hydration on my lips more, but I tend to go for a lipstick, so it is what it is. Okay, now I can go back to showing you things with setting sprays. So first of all, we have the Collection Primed and Ready Dewy Setting Spray. There's still loads left in here, it's up to here. I've only used it twice in the past month. Sorry about it. I've just been reaching for ones that I know are going to last all day. So like for example my Urban Decay All Nighter, I wore that last night when I went out. I also have my matte spray from NYX. I really like that one as well. And the Barry M Fresh Face, whatever it's called. Those are the 3 that I reach for. I forget about these ones. I also have the e.l.f. Makeup Mist and Set. I've used this twice as well, but this one is so nearly done. It's literally got like this much left in it. So hopefully I can finish that one in the next month. We will see. But there we go. That is all the makeup. Now let's move on to skincare. And let's start with cleanser. So we have the Body Shop Tea Tree Oil Skin Clearing Foaming Cleanser. I used this 8 times and then I called it quits because there is still a little bit left in there. In fact, there's a fair amount left in there. But because it's a pump, I can't really get to it and it doesn't foam up properly. So I've just called it a day. That one's done. So I used that 8 times in the last month and quick maths, 26 times in total. And then we also have the Tea Tree Oil Skin Clearing Mattifying Toner, which I've used 20 times in the last month and we still have a fair amount left. It is going down though. It's down to about here. So it is going down. You just don't need a lot. So I'm not using it that quickly. We also have the Pixi Glow Tonic, which I have not used. So it's still like almost pretty much full. It's like to here, which is where it was before because I haven't used it. Then for serums, we have the Revolution Glycolic 10% serum. I think I've used this 5 times in the last month, which is pretty good going. It is going down. I don't use it a lot. I only use it at night. It is what it is. And then we also have the Revolution Prevent Spot Stuff. I'm going to be honest. I've used this 15 times in the past month and 29 times in total in this quarter. It's finished, but I think it's because I left the lid like not fully screwed on and I think it just sort of all dried up sort of thing. I don't know if that's even possible. I might have just used it up and not even realised, but it is finished. It is done. There's nothing left in there. Moisturiser, the Bondi Sands Daily Moisturising Face SPF in 50+. As you can see, there's not a lot left. I have to like unscrew the lid now and sort of squeeze it out and it's really difficult. I was going to buy some more off Beauty Bay, but it is out of stock, which is not ideal. I really love this. I really need it. I need some more of it. But yeah, I don't know where to get any more from. But that is also, I'm going to say finished because realistically I can't get any more out of it. I've been using it this week and really struggling, like injuring myself trying to get it out. So I should just call it finished. but I do need to pick up some more face SPF and I might do that today. We have our lip balm, which is the Dr. Paw Overnight Lip Mask. I've used this 20 times in the last month, but honestly I used such a small amount. There's still loads left in here, like that's probably the same as it was before. Barely anything's gone down despite the fact that I've used it 20 times, but I do still love it. Then I didn't bother bringing up the Philip Kingsley Elasticizer because I haven't used it. I still haven't used it, I'm sorry, I just haven't. Oh, I also didn't bring up the BioLage BioLarge multi-purpose spray or the Elvive No Haircut Cream. I've used both of them 5 times in the last month because if you couldn't tell, I've had my hair done. It's a lot more blonde now, it's also a bit shorter, but because it's a bit shorter, I kind of feel like I need to straighten it a bit more, and so any protection I can get on it, I'm happy with. So I have been using it a little bit more. Then, face masks. I didn't bring up the Body Shop aloe vera one because I haven't used it. I've used one sheet mask in the last month, which I'm actually pretty okay with. I said I wanted to set myself the challenge of using 1 a month, and although I used 3 last month, I've used 1 this month and that's enough for me, so I'm very happy about that. And then for scents, we have the Body Shop Mango Mist. That is so nearly done. That's like 1 more use, but I have used it 7 times in the last month, so I'm thinking that'll be done by the end of the year. Then we have the Vanilla Nice, which I've used 13 times in the last month. There's still a fair amount left, and it does take a while to go down, but I will do my best and I'll try and get it finished. And then we also have the Lynx Attract for Her, which I've used 4 times in the past month. This one sits in this room. Like I said, I've been going out a bit more, leaving the house. Crazy, I know, but it means that that one's not getting used a lot. But that's absolutely fine. Then for perfume, I feel like I'm going really quickly, but I am. From round 2, we have the Avon Little Black Dress perfume. There is not a lot left in there. I reckon I can finish that up if I just remember to put it on. And then the mix of minis. Oh, I've used the Avon Little Black Dress perfume 5 times in the last month. Then my mix of minis I actually haven't reached for in the past month at all, so nothing's changed there. And then the only thing left from my project pan is the NCLA Treatments So Rich Vitamin E Infused Cuticle Oil. I haven't used it. I knew this was going to happen. I always forget about it. I never reach for it. My friend said, leave it on your desk. Do it when you sit down and do your work. It didn't work. I'm sorry, I haven't used it. It's been on my desk, haven't used it. But there we go. That is my update on my project pan. I'm sorry I went so quickly. I just have other things I need to do today. So yeah, I did kind of rush a little bit, but hopefully you got what you wanted from the video. You saw how much use I've used, you've seen that I've finished a few products up, I've hit a couple of pans, I'm pretty happy with myself. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and if you like my content, please consider subscribing. I put up 2 videos a week and it's all makeup content, so if that sounds like the type of thing, then this is the place for you. But other than that, I will let you go. Have a great day and amazing week, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.